Hi, everybody. In this week's episode, we're talking Final Destination Bloodlines.
And Hurry Up Tomorrow.
And we also have some movie news.
And in the second half, we're talking all things Final Destination movies.
Yeah,
so neither will we. Hello, everybody.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Or good afternoon.
Yeah, I was going to say, they don't have our time zone, probably.
No, but good morning, whatever. If it's good afternoon, good evening, and good night. There you go. We'll do the whole Truman Show version.
Welcome back to another episode of the A-List Admission.
The 20th episode, actually.
Okay, I'm not counting anymore.
You don't have to count. I'm keeping track. Anyway.
I know, but they don't care.
Well, I'm only mentioning it because it's
the 20th number. Is great. Like, that's actually really cool.
That's the only reason why.
Yeah, that was the only reason why you should.
Well, the last two episodes, you've been like, whatever number. So yeah. I've said the number.
Yeah. How was your week? Even though we know each other's weeks.
This week was okay. It was really hot this week, actually.
I had a couple days where it was warm. I mean, there was a couple days in the early morning was wearing my winter coat, so it wasn't that warm.
No, see, this week I was barely wearing my winter coat. I thought it was more hot during the day.
Yeah, but like sure. It was like early morning.
Well, it would be raining in the morning.
Oh, see, not for me.
We're on
two different weather patterns, apparently.
It was very wet in the morning.
Oh, interesting.
Whether it was actively raining or not, it was very wet in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
It was yesterday, but not. Anyway, who cares? Yeah. So, as we said in the intro, we're covering two movies.
Yes. Final Destination Bloodlines, or Final Destination 6.
And Hurry Up Tomorrow. And we figured in the latter half, we'd kind of talk over some of the classic Final Destination movies.
Because there are 5 other ones.
Yeah, true.
So we have a lot we're going to have to cover there. But then first, we're going to do our traditional weekly movie news. So,
yeah.
Do you want to do the first one?
Sure, yeah. So first thing on the movie news is that in December of 2027, there will be another Lord of the Rings movie, and it's not going to be the anime style.
I was going to say, it's going to be live action.
Yeah, it's called The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum, and it's actually going to be directed by Andy Serkis, who plays Gollum. So, yeah, that's very exciting. It's December 17th, 2027. He's returning to Middle-earth to explore Gollum's lost years between The Hobbit and The Fellowship of the Ring. Producing is Peter Jackson as well, which is amazing to have two of the most notable from the whole series in it. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with that. Yeah,
I really hope that it doesn't feel like they're just shoving in a movie just to shove in a movie.
So yeah, I'm really excited to see Andy Serkis again. I love Andy Serkis in anything. So to see him as Gollum again, and thankfully not an animated version, I'm very excited.
Yeah. So the next one, more business news like I think we had last week or the week before. Paramount and Skydance are going to start their merger. The proposed $8 billion merger between Skydance Media and Paramount Global is advancing with approvals from the SEC and European Commission secured. The deal forming the Paramount Skydance Corporation is pending final approval from the SEC and is expected to close by July 7th of this year. And then just for people that don't understand, the FCC just kind of checks to see if there isn't a monopoly on certain companies. So like
the SEC?
The FCC.
Oh, FCC. I was like...
and the same thing happened when Disney bought out Fox. Just solely because, again, right, Disney owns Marvel, LucasArts, and now Fox on the entertainment side of things. So big companies like Comcast, who owns Universal, NBC, and all that, or NBC. They are the next biggest competitor next to Disney, and so a lot of times they will fight to kind of go, hey, they're taking up all the competition. They're going to just start running over everything. And so the FCC tries their best to make that like even keel for everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, do you want to do the next one?
Next in the news is Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which is coming out roughly summer of 2026. It'll be the first feature film shot entirely on IMAX film. So he also did Oppenheimer, but Oppenheimer only had about 40 minutes of IMAX footage. So this is going to be the first time feature film's ever fully on all IMAX, which is really cool. And it's also going to reunite Christopher Nolan with cinematographer Hoyt van Hoytema, who I believe he worked on Oppenheimer with, but don't quote me on that.
He's also just a very, very well-known cinematographer. And the very, very last part of our movie news is my... I was excited for this all year because I wasn't sure when they'll announce it. But The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender, is the movie for that is coming back with the whole Avatar Studios. This is the first project they've announced since The Legend of Korra ended.
Oh.
Apart from the TV show that they're going to do as well. That comes out in October 9th next year, 2026, which I'm super excited for because it's around my birthday.
Oh, it's around your birthday. Yeah. I was actually going to ask you about this because I know nothing about this. So I was just curious if it was. Much. Yeah, I didn't know it was with Avatar Studios. Like so it's going to be pretty dang close to the show. Yeah, so it's not going to be like the Avatar movie.
Nothing is going to be like the Avatar movie or the Netflix version. But so Avatar Studios did obviously the Avatar, The Last Airbender, and they did Avatar, The Legend of Korra, and then they've kind of just stopped working on it because Nickelodeon didn't want to produce anything else anymore.
Yeah.
And then they created their own production studio. And the two projects they have announced is this movie, The Legend of Aang, and a TV show in which it introduces the next Avatar after Korra.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that one is called Visions, but I don't quote me on that. I'll have the right TV show name on YouTube.
Okay.
But yeah, that is our movie news for the week.
Yeah, that's pretty full. There's like 4 things. So.
Yeah, two of them definitely like announcements, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that's very exciting.
Cool. Sure. We're gonna go into our reviews now. You want me to do?
You can do Final Destination first.
So, Final Destination Bloodlines is the 6th installment in the long-running horror franchise, released in theaters and IMAX on May 16th, 2025. Directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein, and the film stars Caitlin Santa Juana as Stephanie Reyes, a college student who returns to her hometown to confront a family legacy tied to a past disaster. Tony Todd reprises his iconic role as William Bloodsworth, marking his final on-screen appearance before his passing in 2024. Actually, Cheyenne found that information as well. Do you want to?
No, you can.
Okay. He passed away 2024. The Final Fantasy franchise and Indiana Jones.
Final Fantasy?
Did I say Final
Fantasy? Yeah,
you
did.
Gosh. The Final Destination franchise and the Indiana Jones video game, The Great Circle. Both did a in memoriam for him.
Yeah, he died of stomach cancer.
Yeah. The movie delves into the franchise's signature theme of death's design, introducing a new narrative that connects past and present events. Critics have noted that Bloodlines offers a fresh take on the series with inventive death sequences and a deeper exploration of its mythology.
Yeah. It was nice to see William Bloodworth again as a character. But it was actually quite sad now knowing that he's passed because you could actually see the weight loss he had. Like he was very, very frail.
Yeah.
I think this was the best one in the series.
In all of them? Oh, I gotta think of that.
Obviously, the first one is always the one that starts it all, and it was good. It was very good. I really liked the first one.
I think
this was the next second. Like, really good one.
I'm inclined to agree with you that this is the best one, because I'm honestly struggling to find a better one. But
I was going to say, we didn't really like any, because I'm the horror movie person out of the two of us. I'm not a huge fan of the Final Destination series. It's not because they scare me, because they don't. I think they're very, very stupid.
Well, don't go too much into it. We can leave a lot of this for the second half.
But for this one specifically, I really liked it.
I think I'll agree with you anyway that this is one of the better ones, for sure.
You loved it when we left, so.
No, I'm not saying I didn't love it. I'm saying I'm agreeing with you. Okay. It's a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Talking specifically about this one, without spoiling anything, it was very good. I think the acting was very well done. I think the deaths were kind of more creative in this one.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, man, deaths in this series, we'll get into it later. But anyway, yeah, like I like the idea of past and present connecting everything along. It just made the world seem more involved in death's design in that way.
Yeah, I also really like the effects they use in the Final Destination movies. I know we'll talk about the other ones later, but like certain things they do that lean into the next scene. I really like what they do with that.
Yeah,
so this I thought had a couple good ones like that too.
Yeah, I did think whoever plays Eric and Bobby.
Well, you're gonna get into the cast after, so
yeah. Okay, fine. We'll go into it now.
There you go.
So the cast of Final Destination is Caitlin Santawana as Stephanie Reyes, like I mentioned earlier. Tio Braunis as Charlie Reyes. Richard Harmon as Eric Campbell. Owen Patrick Joyner as Bobby Campbell. Anna Lore as Julia Campbell. Rhea. Oh, that's a rough one. Sorry, I apologize.
I'm going to say it's Kilstead to help you.
I'm not repeating that.
Okay.
As Darlene Campbell. Gabrielle Rose as Iris Campbell. Breck Bassinger as...
Basinger.
Oh, it is
like
Basinger.
Kim Basinger.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're related, that also.
Breck Bassinger as young... Basinger.
Basinger. I just said it.
It also could be pronounced as Bassinger.
Okay, it's like Kim Basinger, the famous model.
What?
It's
It
Breck
doesn't
Basinger.
matter. As young Iris Campbell, Tony Todd as William Bloodworth, whatever. Jaden Onaya as young William, Tinpo Lee as Martin Reyes, April Telek as Brenda Campbell, Alex Zahara as Howard Campbell, Max Lloyd Jones as Paul Campbell, Brianna, this is a lot of people,
Brenna Lewin
as Val, Yvette Ferguson as Mrs. Fuller, and Mark Brandon as Mr. Fuller.
So we asked chat, the cast. They gave us like so many names. The main ones you need to know really are like the first, 4 or 5 names. But
I mean, you need to know the entire camp. You do need to know Stephanie. Okay, you're scrolling way too fast.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say like this. When we asked the main cast, this was the main cast it gave us, and I get why, but like you really. You don't need to know.
I think you need to know Stephanie, Charlie, Eric, Bobby, Julia, Darlene, Iris.
And young Iris, too, actually.
Oh, yeah, and young Iris. Yeah, pretty much it.
Yeah.
The cast is the cast. There's a lot of people in it. I will put up all the photos if I can in there.
Yeah, if not, no biggie.
I literally do it every time I have to now. Anyway, no, the series is really good. I think it's really...
The series is good? I don't think it's that good.
I mean, sorry, the movie is good.
Okay.
I think this movie is really good. I think I agree with you that this is the best in the series, if not really up there. And I think it's just like the critics say, it's a fresh take on the series.
Yeah. No, I agree. I thought it was really, really good because I don't really like the Final Destination series. It's probably one of my least favorites. Just not like... It's just very stupid. But I actually really liked this one, and I was rooting for it based off the trailer, which I was also very... obviously, I'm not going to mention anything spoilers, but I think you know my brain.
I know what she's going to talk about, but
I was very happy with the trailer because it was in the movie, but not that way.
Yes, honestly, just leave it at that because any more you say, it's going to ruin that scene.
So I definitely recommend seeing it.
Yeah, regardless, I think it's a phenomenal movie, like Cheyenne said, and I think that if you've watched at least one of the Final Destination movies before and you're kind of intrigued how this goes, I would absolutely recommend this one.
Yeah, and also if you go to a Cineplex movie, not sponsored, but if you do go, they have trailers beforehand that show you like the new Conjuring movie that's coming out, like a bunch of new movies that are coming out that are horror related, and they look really promising too.
It says the person that loves horror movies.
Yeah. That's the one thing I actually look forward to when we go see a horror movie is the trailers beforehand.
I will say,
because more often than not, they're going to be horror trailers.
Well, I also say I like the trailers before them because when you go to see a regular movie, or like an action movie or whatever, you get to see the same trailers you've seen. Like, because we go every week, we see so many of the same trailers over and over and over.
Oh, they're awful.
Like we've seen the ballerina trailer, I want to say like 15, 20 times. But the horror movie ones, they don't show as often because they don't want to scare people.
Well, they can't really, like if they play the films that will match the rating of the movie as well. That's the other thing.
So like we don't see the horror movie trailers at all unless we go see a horror movie. And I feel like we haven't seen a horror movie. Oh no, but we saw Death of No, the Death of a Unicorn. Sorry.
Hard Eyes?
No, Clown. The
Clown
one.
in a
We
Cornfield.
saw that one last week or the week before.
Yeah, but The Last Rites, like The Conjuring, The Last Rites, that was a more newer, like that was a newer release. So
Newer trailer.
yeah, it just suited Final Destination.
I don't know. The trailers in this felt more fresh than what we've normally seen them as.
Yeah.
Oh, our rating. I think
7.5.
Oh, yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say 7.5. I'm in that range as well.
I'm in the same range. So I'm going to go with 7.5.
I'll join you. 7.5.
Just because of one thing that made me not smile, but like I was happy to see, which I'll explain to him later.
No spoilers.
So yeah, the second and final movie we saw, there wasn't a heck of a lot of new movies out, just these two, was Hurry Up Tomorrow. And it's also it's an accompanying film to The Weeknd's trilogy of albums. There was After Hours, Dawn FM, and then Hurry Up Tomorrow. The Weeknd, acting wise, is known as Abel Tesfaye. I want to say his last name is,
because that's his actual name.
Yes, I don't know. But he's known professionally in the other circles as The Weeknd. So yeah, this movie accompanies his album Hurry Up Tomorrow, so it's the same name. Also released on May 16th. It's directed by Trey Edward Schultz, and it's a psychological thriller that stars Abel, or The Weeknd, as a fictionalized version of himself, alongside Jenna Ortega and Barry Keoghan. The narrative delves into themes of fame, identity, and self-destruction, inspired by a real incident where The Weeknd lost his voice mid-concert in 2022. So critics have noted that both the album and the film explore his introspection and artistic evolution. While the album has been praised for its ambitious scope and cohesive blend of electronic and R&B influences, the film has received mixed reviews, with some highlighting its symbolic storytelling and others critiquing its clarity. I thought this movie was ass.
So before we go too far into the rating, like Cheyenne said, there's literally only 3 characters in this movie.
Yeah, so main cast is just Jenna Ortega, Barry Keoghan, and The Weeknd. That is it.
Abel. Yeah, Cheyenne, sorry, it's not a great movie.
It's
really
awful.
bad.
It's boring. It makes no sense. The very, very, very last scene was like, oh, okay. But that was, oh my goodness, it was bad.
The thing I was going to say about this movie in particular is that there's 2 things I think that shine in this movie, truly shine. And it's, I think the acting is really good. The Weeknd's acting, not my favorite. It's the same as this show. I don't remember what the show's name is. But
The Idol.
Oh, thank you. His acting is not the best. But aside from that, Jenna did a great job and Barry does a great job. But on top of that, I think that there are some very unique shots, like camera shots, that they used in this movie that I thought were really fascinating and really cool. Like, one is an upside down image of I want to say it's New York, but it might be Chicago. We're not from the States, so I always confuse the two skylines. And then 2, there was one where you can see, it's almost like a 3D pan around the entire inside of Jenna's car in the movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. But yeah, there's a lot of scenes that are like weirdly shot or uniquely shot, but I almost feel like that was almost the point of the movie, was just a lot of cool shots, and then hopefully the story kind of like rolls together. But it did not do a good job at, like, the story itself was not that interesting at all. Like, it kind of just went from, oh, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, but it's all like very mundane, boring shit. And then when shit hits the fan, it feels more symbolic than it does literal or metaphorical, and then it very much like the critics, it just didn't make sense. I felt like it was very cluttered.
Yeah.
Like, there was definitely a way to tell the story better without lens flares and without, I don't know, dude. Like, it was just, it felt jumbled. That's all I could really say.
Yeah, okay. I was waiting for you to finish.
Sorry.
No, I just didn't like this movie. I thought it was very boring, and I don't even think that this is definitely not Jenna or Barry's best movie by any means.
But they just act well normally, I think.
I didn't think the acting was that great overall, but the movie left a sour taste in my mouth, so I can blame it on the movie, honestly. It was weird, and like half the people in our theater were laughing at some scenes, and so I was kind of joining them for certain ones too. Because I'm like, what the hell? At one point, I nodded off for a couple minutes, and when I came to, I said to Ricky, I'm like, what did I miss? He's like, nothing. Like, you literally missed nothing.
Like, when I looked at my phone just to see what time it was, because we are not people that go scrolling through our phones in the middle of the movie or at all. It was just more like, oh, what time is it? Okay, bye. We were an hour in, and I could tell Cheyenne, like, yep, this happened and this happened. Everything else has been just filling in between.
Yeah.
Like, it was, again, I would tell you guys what happened, because it's comically slow at what happened, but I don't want to
But I don't know if you need to listen to the album before seeing this to kind of get the story of the album.
We talked about that too, because like when we left, we're like, I'm curious if this movie means more, is clearer, and like the imagery of some of the symbolism in it makes more sense because you understand what the album's about and his journey through the album.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or if it's just a movie based on the album, but it's its own thing. Anyway, like, it's just a movie that honestly wasn't for us. If you really like the Weeknd's music and like can dissect it, and like any audiophiles out there that like are really into that kind of shit, you might like the movie more because it has more to tell you from the music.
Yeah.
For us, we're not like, we like some of the Weeknd's music, but we're not deep diving into it, trying to understand its messaging. Like we're just kind of like casual music listeners, and so taking that and throwing that in the movie, like, the movie just sucked because we didn't understand it. It just didn't appeal to us at all either.
And then there was a theory online that Jenna had confirmed, but she didn't know if it was the final one, that she plays a version of Abel. Which could be possible. Her character plays a version of Abel, which, again, yeah, it could be possible. I don't know. But she really liked that idea when she went into filming it. I
can definitely see it kind of recollecting that movie now. But, I mean, again, like, it doesn't make the movie better. Like, I think it's just...
No.
Ratings?
A 1.
Yeah, I was truly flirting between anywhere from a half to a 1.5. It was kind of
I was just do 1.
We'll just do 1 because it's right down the middle.
It's really, really bad. And for our Letterboxd, it's out of 5. I think we did half a star. Yeah, because you can't do any lower.
Well, you can't
do 0, but
I don't think it deserves a 0.
Nothing ever really deserves a 0. So
that's not true. I feel like there's a movie out there that deserves a 0. We just haven't seen it yet.
Maybe.
There's also a movie out there that deserves a 5-star, and we haven't seen it yet.
Well, there's a couple that I want to put as 5. We just haven't. So Anyway. So yeah, those are just the 2 movies that we saw. So first one we gave around a 7. Second one we gave around a 1. So
I mean, recommendation of the week: Final Destination.
Bloodlines, yeah, definitely. But
if
again,
you don't like horror,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you don't like gore or gore and horror,
watch any movies from the previous weeks.
Yeah, watch a Minecraft movie.
Watch Thunderbolts or the New Avengers or whatever. Anyway, so now we'll go into our second half, which is just Final Destination all the time, all day, whatever. I don't know. We're trying to do something fun with it. Anyway, but yeah, Final Destination series
as a whole, yeah.
It's movies. We're gonna obviously focus through 1 through 5 because we're not spoiling 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1 through 5. If you don't know what Final Destination is or what the idea behind Final Destination is, do you want to give a summary or do you want me to give it a summary?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I approve him to give a better synopsis probably, even though I'm the horror movie fan.
Fair. But it's just because maybe I'm more engaged in this series. Not that it's good by any means.
No, it's not.
Anyway, so the series as a whole, the point of it is one person enters a situation, or a group of people enter a situation. One of those people has a premonition that they are all going to die always very gory death. That premonition then gets that person to react and save as many people as they can. That could be a group of 3. That could be a group of hundreds.
Like a plane's worth.
That's only 6 people that they save.
Technically, okay, I guess, 6 notable ones, but on...
The newest movie...
Separate. No, we're not talking about it.
Anyway, so then those, let's say, group of 5 people, all being saved, have now cheated death. and death is now coming for those people because death doesn't like to be cheated, and they will kill them in the order they were supposed to die in the event, right? And then there's ways to get out of it. So there are two ways that you can avoid dying. One is you kill somebody, you take the rest of their lifespan as yours, or two, you die and then get resuscitated,
or brought back to life,
right? So that's essentially the movie, the idea of the movie.
And then the deaths that are the most notable in the series because they're just so outlandishly crazy.
They're a fun little Rube Goldberg machine.
What?
A Rube Goldberg machine.
Of course, you'd throw in something just to make conversation. What is a Rube Goldberg machine?
It's those machines where like a marble will go down a track, hit this fork.
Oh, why can't you just say that?
Because there's a name for it.
I didn't know that was the name. Is it named after someone?
Yes.
Okay.
But essentially, yeah, it's a massive thing where this happens, that causes this to happen, which causes this to happen, and then yada, 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 all the way to someone dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they're they are just stupid movies, man. Like it's every death is one of those machines where it looks like, how the hell did that trigger that trigger that?
Yeah.
To this person dying in the most absurd way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. I see you got some questions.
So yeah, I looked up some questions, also asked ChatGPT for some other questions, kind of to guide us on this journey through the Final Destination movies. So the first one was, what's your favorite death scene in the franchise? So just a heads up, spoiler alert for the entire 1 to 5.
Pretty much. I mean, depends on what. For me, it's the scene with the two girls in the tanning beds. So I don't have a favorite death scene. I'm just going to say that. I really don't. This is the one that's most notable because of how the filming worked. Because do you remember at the end, their tanning beds slam? And as they slam, it turns into two coffins.
Yes.
Which I really thought that was... Like, that's the one thing I do like about these movies is the way they can, like, slide into the next scene really, like, in a really fun way. So it's not, like, my favorite, but I liked that scene for that.
So I will list... 2 death scenes in particular. And the first one for me is the dumbest one. I think one of the dumber ones is in the first movie, the teacher that gets saved from the plane crash. Man, it takes a lot for her to die. Basically, Wynn turns on the kettle, which she goes and turns off. And then, she knocks over a knife onto the counter. Then water spills from the sink into the outlet. The outlet shocks up. Essentially, machine, like things go off so that the knife falls off the counter after she's slipped on the water and stabs her, but doesn't stab her enough to kill her. And then a chair falls over and pushes the knife all the way in and kills her. And I'm like, this is absurdly stupid. Like, you're sitting there watching all this happen, and you're like, what the fuck is this? But my actual, I think the one that I think is just so quick, easy, but visually cool is in, I want to say it's the second movie. Guy is running away because he's trying to avoid dying because everything is kind of exploding in one moment. And a car hits a fence. The fence goes flying. And because it's a barbed wire fence, it literally chops him into 3 different pieces.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Again, absurd movies. Like, we'll get into my opinions on the series more later, but yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, which Final Destination movie do you think is the most fun to rewatch?
6.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, I know we're not talking about 6, but it's 6. My number 1, I guess, if I had to pick between 1 and 5, because that's the first movie.
I would say, if I had to pick between 1 and 5, it would be, I think it'd also be 1. But 6 is by far the best one to rewatch.
Yeah.
Oh, do you get paranoid after watching any of the movies?
Hell no. Not at all.
So, one of the things about this movie, the series, that I avoid, because I didn't want to watch these movies for the longest time. 1, because I'm not a horror movie person. But 2, I also thought these death scenes, before watching them, obviously, were way more realistic.
But, yeah.
So I thought one of the big ones that people had told me about was the log truck scene. But I didn't know what happened in the log truck scene. And so I just thought it was a log falling off a truck and killing the person right there and then done. But man, so many things happen in that log truck scene.
But I was talking to a couple people a few days ago too that they specifically avoid certain things from these movies because of these movies. So the log truck, they'll avoid driving behind it. I'm like, that's so stupid though. Like, I get it if you get scared by that, but I'm like, you have to remember how it happens in the movies. Like, it's not going to be that easy.
I will say,
or not that easy to die in that way, but like they make it outlandishly hard.
I will say there are things that I'll avoid, but I'll avoid them regardless of these movies. Like, I don't like tanning. I wouldn't go. I don't want tan, obviously. But even then, like, I also get naturally scared of tanning beds just because you're shooting UV rays at yourself.
I've just never done it. I do it, but I know it's not good for you. So
that's why. It's because it's not good for you that I wouldn't do it anyway.
Elevators, I will say, I don't like elevators personally. Because one time, mind you, this was in the Tower of Terror, which is a very different elevator. The ride stopped. But it was like pitch black, and it was after he had finished like one of the jumps, and there's more jumps, but it didn't happen. So I was like, shit. My dad panicked. Like, he has claustrophobia. So pitch black in a room, you can't see the size of the room. He freaked. And that always made him a little antsy afterward. Is it mine now?
Oh, I was going to say one quick thing about the elevator.
Go.
So the other thing with elevators for me, I honestly, the only thing about elevators, I just don't want to get stuck in one.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of getting stuck in one. That's what, because some of them, the phone signal's better in a lot of elevators now, but some are still not.
Yeah. Anyway, go for it.
Okay, which character death surprised you the most? I have my answer, but you can go ahead if you have one. If not,
I don't have one immediately.
Okay, so the one that surprised me, honestly, was Alex Browning, right? The first movie character.
Yeah.
It was the fact that he died, like the way he died at the very end, because I didn't know the essence of the movies that essentially everyone dies no matter what. Like, I get it, but Alex seemed fully secure and like he was fine, and then the last like 2 seconds he gets killed. So like that one kind of surprised me because it was the first movie too.
I think the one that surprises me the most, and there's not one character in particular, it is the I want to say it's the fourth one.
What?
I don't remember exactly, but it's the three main characters sit in a. Oh no, it's the one where the bridge collapses.
Okay.
The three main characters sit at a table at the end because they all think they survived, and I think it says something like 15 years later, something astronomically long, and you're like, oh yeah, they made it, perfect.
Yeah.
And then a truck just runs right through the fucking cafe and kills them, but it's been a clue this entire time. Yeah, that one I didn't expect.
Clear Rivers dying kind of surprised me a little.
Clear also dying. Oh, that was such a sad death.
That was just kind of like, you don't really expect that.
No.
That's a surprise.
Yeah. Do you think you could survive if death was after you?
For me, this is a stupid question because I'm like, you can't answer that. I don't know.
I think you can answer.
Okay, what's your answer?
No. I think my answer is no.
Everyone dies in these movies. That should be your answer.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It's like, I think no matter how prepared you are, or like Clear had the best version of this, where if she just stayed in a padded room forever with not letting anybody in, not letting anything else in.
And Iris, but that's the new movie. Yeah. Same thing.
But yeah, like if you did all that, then yeah, of course you'll survive forever and death won't ever kill you. Mm-hmm. But that's also not living. So
exactly,
it's one of the two. It's either you choose to live isolated and alone and away from everything, or you just die because you were meant to die. You know what I mean? So I don't know. To me, there's not really a way that you avoid death.
No. This one we don't even really need to answer because you've done it. If you had to explain Final Destination to someone who'd never seen it, how would you describe it?
In one quick word, or one quick thing: absurd deaths, no one lives, and don't see the future. Simple. That's it.
Okay, so those are like more easy, fun questions. These are more like thought-provoking, like deeper ones. But is there a moral or message behind the franchise, or is it just stylish death scenes? There is a moral.
There has to be a moral.
Death doesn't wait.
Yeah, if you're destined to die, you're dying.
Yeah, it's like they kind of mention it in different quotes in the movies. But yeah, essentially death doesn't wait. So
I mean, the other way to look at it is to like live life to the fullest because you never know when your time's up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I agree.
But they're also just stylish death scenes too.
Yeah,
Like, there's a lot of-
stylish death scenes to a T because of the way, like literally the tanning bed one, for example. Yeah,
yeah, I wouldn't say they're just that, but like that's a good chunk of the movie.
yeah.
The second one is, do the films reflect any real fears or anxieties of modern life? And we kind of touched this a bit earlier, like elevators and that kind of thing.
Yeah, like roller coasters,
Yeah.
the log
Oh.
trucks, like anything, any big truck carrying a heavy load like that can make people panic. Yeah, like a lack of control is what it lists on here as well, which is a good point because it is essentially that too, because you can't control death.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned roller coasters, and like one of the things for me has always been like I don't trust roller coasters on like traveling like fairs or.
Oh,
like,
I don't
certain
trust
kind of
any
thing.
rides on fairs and carnivals.
No, I really don't. Like it's because I don't know. I don't see the
'Cause they have to-
sturdiness in taking something down, putting it back up.
As I was gonna say, to break it down and build it up every time,
Yeah.
something's gonna get fucked up.
Every
But yeah, with those ones, I don't like either. But I know it's funny because there was a couple things you had mentioned like that since I've known you that you don't really like, and they come from these movies, yet you'd never really seen these
No.
movies. So it's kind of funny. So like the essence of these movies do linger with or without seeing the movies.
But I feel like they're all very accurate ones. Like even like as simple as the log truck one, you see a log truck go down and they're kind of just strapped over,
Yeah.
and so it's not crazy to assume one might just right
yeah,
out of it, right?
Yeah.
So apart from like actual death scenes that happen in this,
Yeah.
if we're talking in the fear of like lack of control and stuff, that has been me to a T. Like
Yeah.
I have my mind works where I have planned things out the way things are, and you can even ask Cheyenne. Cheyenne brought another planning thing to me, and now I do it all the time. Is looking up the menu at a restaurant, so that way you can control that situation ahead
Yeah,
of time.
that is a real anxiety for me. Not just the menu, but like knowing stuff at least in advance. Like if I make plans with someone and like, oh, do you want to go to this place? I will check the directions. How long will it take to get to this place? And if they are going to be in the car with me, do I have enough conversation to last me that length of the trip? Like things like that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you overplan, it controls your life, and like I think that's a big thing that me and Cheyenne both kind of suffer from, where we both try to overplan every scenario at every moment. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Which it's not a great way to live either.
no,
But that's what therapy's for.
Woo.
I need to jump on that. So
so do I.
Okay, how does Final Destination handle fate versus free will?
If we go by the Final Destination movies, it's just fate. You don't have a free will.
No.
The
You
only-
think that's the thing. You think you do.
Yeah, it's the illusion of free will.
Yeah, it's like the Truman Show.
Oh, that movie's so
But
good.
it's like the illusion that he's living in a real world and he's not.
But the difference is that he breaks free from that. Like his
Yeah,
free
he
will
does.
wins.
And that's his free will. Yeah,
But-
it will rules out. This one will always be fate.
Always.
Always be fate.
No
Yeah.
matter and it's truly no matter how long it takes for that fate to come true,
Yeah.
fate always comes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that's... You don't think so in the first movie, and by the time the end happens with Alex getting killed, it shows you that. Like, it proves it. And then that's the essence in every movie.
Well, and like I said, with the people that were sitting at the table 15 years
Yeah, I
later,
know.
think that happened, right? Like,
yeah.
it really does come to show you, like, in these movies, fate always wins. You have the illusion of free will, or your free will to live out that long is literally just
Yeah.
padded room or locked away forever, right?
Sorry, it's your turn to ask the question, I think.
I think I asked the last one.
I just asked it, the
Okay,
fate
whatever.
one. But I mean,
does-
I'll ask questions all the time.
Does the lack of a physical villain make the series more or less scary?
I think it's a unique way to make it. Because, yeah, there's a lot of movies with physical villains. I do kind of like the idea that it's an entity, but, like, you could say that for The Conjuring. You could say that for any movie that has a ghost in it. Because it's not necessarily a physical villain. It's a being that was once a physical person, but it's not now.
I think that question, that what you said, goes twofold, right? Because there are ghosts that are physical, right? Like think of like Casper, very physical.
Oh, like you can see him,
Yeah.
but he's.
But then also
yeah.
in The Conjuring, you do see the
No. I know you do.
some
I'm
beings
trying
you
to,
see, right?
but I'm also trying to think of like other movies that don't have physical villains, and it's harder to think of that.
For me with this question is just more, to me it's not more or less scary because it doesn't matter, right? Like
No.
if you see a villain there, they know how to they have a thing targeted at them, and it's the illusion that person is vulnerable because they have a physical form.
Yeah.
But if you've seen the movies as long as we've seen movies and the amount of movies we've seen, it doesn't matter if they're physical or not. Like, some people don't die. Like, it's just what it is in villain form.
Oh, yeah.
And so whether it's physical or not, to me, doesn't make it more or less scary. It's more, is there a way to bypass this thing, whether through killing the villain or circumventing them, right? Like, if you can go around it, then fine, whatever works. You've defeated that villain. But if you can't go around them and you can't kill them, you're fucked anyway.
Yeah, but I don't think it made it more or less scary. I thought it was a more unique idea to have like an entity instead. Okay, last question. Do you think the franchise could work as a prestige TV show with deeper character development? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, 100%. I think any movie really could be made into a TV show to dissect it further, really.
The thing that I like the idea about a TV show is the whole Game of Thrones thing. Where, like, you know how Game of Thrones, every episode or season, people were just dying. And you're never prepared for it.
But see, I don't want it to be every episode will be a Final Destination death.
No, but what I like is the idea that
you don't know what episode it's going to happen.
Or who's going to die in every episode. It could be the main guy who has a premonition.
Yeah, or no deaths in an episode as well. That's what I would
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Or, I like in the idea of, like kind of what you said, where it changes over time, or not change, right. It like, hones in on character development, and like you can get really specific with people.
Yeah.
I surprised Cheyenne with another question. So there's
no, he didn't really. It's just I didn't look on the next page.
So how has the franchise changed over time, and has it kept up with horror trends?
I don't know if it's necessarily changed. I think it's definitely gotten better, based off the sixth one.
But that also has taken so much time to get to that one before.
But it's kept up with horror trends well, because everyone knows these movies, even if you haven't seen the movies, for the crazy death. But it's kept up with horror trends. But they are reviving a lot of old ones. So this summer is a reboot of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. are both coming back for it, which is great. Which you haven't seen those movies,
no.
So they're okay. Again, kind of the same wavelength as Final Destination, not in the killings, just the essence of those kind of movies. Or
see, they look like a Scream movie to me, so that's why I was like, oh,
it's a vibe of that, yeah.
My idea with this is I don't know if it kept up with particular horror trends.
I don't know what the horror trend of the moment is. I just like horror movies.
But I will say, like, the franchise has definitely changed over time. Like, it goes from like super low budget murder movies to like this new one has a lot of CGI.
Yeah, it's like the Blair Witch Project. They did try to redo that one. But the first one was so popular for being a really low budget, like school film project.
Yeah, like I think that I'll be honest with you, I don't think if you look at the first 5, none of them improve that much.
No, they all kind of flatline.
Very quick. Like I feel like when you look at 1, 2, and 3, they're kind of the same, like low budget kind of vibe. 4 and 5 get a little bit higher budget, but none of them are like stand out really good ones. This one, number 6, I think has, if they follow the trend that this one does, I think it'll succeed very well.
But the technology is a little more advanced too.
Yeah, you can get away with a lot more. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Mind you, the final death in 6 was insane.
Yeah. Anyway, no spoilers.
I left it at that.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
So I don't know if it's necessarily kept up with horror trends, because I don't really find that there's trends with horror.
I'm trying to think of other horror movies
like Halloween.
Recently. Yeah, but you're kind of right. Like there isn't a trend in horror.
No, unless you mean like a killer. Like this one's an like ethereal killer, but ethereal. Sorry, I always do that. I say ethereal.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that question because I can't think of a single trend at the moment. If you can think of a trend, or any of the questions that we did pose, like what is your favorite Final Destination movie death? Which character surprised you the most? Whatever. please let us know, because I want to know if you have any thoughts about the Final Destination franchise, like this is a piece of shit series, which understandable, or if you love it, this is your favorite.
I mean, you could say that about the Saw movies too. There's 10 of them. So
the 11th one is also coming out. I want to say this year or next year.
Those are some good questions.
Yeah, which I was trying to think of stuff to like boost up the conversation around Final Destination, because we're like Shane said, we're not a huge fan of that series. But
no,
it's
but I
fun to
really
talk
liked the last one. The newest one is really, really good.
Yes, we definitely recommend.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And just remember that these are all our opinions, not yours. If you have any issues, let us know. And that's fine. If you love it, let us know.
I was going to say, like, if you have any commentary on our reviews of the movies that came out this week, Final Destination, or even some of the movie news that we talked about, please let us know right in the comments below.
If you have any opinions on us as people, go for it. We know we're good people. Anyway, yeah, make sure to follow us on all the things. So we have Threads, we have Letterboxd, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have TikTok, we have Facebook, we have Letterboxd, and then
which is completely updated now. Sorry.
Yep. And we have Spotify, Apple Music, actually anywhere you get your podcasts, we're on there. And like I said, YouTube is the main place you're going to get a video and audio version as well if you have YouTube Music.
Yeah, but like, comment, subscribe, like Shane said, but also rate us 5 stars.
Yes. Yep. Thank you. I hadn't gotten there yet, but I was getting there.
Right.
But yes, please rate us 5 stars on Spotify, or if any other places do 5 stars.
I don't know, but I know Spotify does for sure.
But yeah, we'd appreciate the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. Because our channel's kind of growing here and there. Like, I see more and more subscribers. I see a lot more like video views on our popper flops and our reels, which is really nice. And I know the reels and popper flops are short, sweet, and easy to watch, but take a gander at the full length ones, because they're actually really fun.
Yeah.
And
even if
we put a lot of work into them.
Yeah, and even if you can't sit and watch the whole thing, that's okay. Like, to watch in pieces.
Yeah, literally, or listen to it in your car.
Yeah.
We have mono. Our audio is mono, so if you like the idea of listening one side me, one side him, we have that. So,
but if you don't, let us know.
But yeah, if you prefer stereo, let us know, because we're trying to get more in opinions about the audio. So if you like mono or stereo, let us know. We do not have mono. I just meant we have mono audio. And with that,
we'll see you at the movies.
Bye.
Bye.